Some of these clowns talk about it, but see, I lived it. When that cell door opens, the talking's over. Ain't no guns, ain't no drive-bys. Get your knife. Straight hand-to-hand combat. Peace, blessings, and salutations. My name is Yurima Karama, coming to you again with another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. I'm very thankful, and I want to shout out all the support I've gotten. I'm very appreciative. There's been an outpouring of support for these segments. I thank you so much. The positive feedback I've been getting is invaluable, and I just want to share a portion of my life with you. I hope you're getting something out of it. But again, I'm just thankful for your support and feedback. Some of the feedback that I've gotten or questions that I've gotten kind of leads into this segment of Voices. I've been questioned about basically snitching. And I wanted to talk about that in this segment anyway, because at this point, I'm headed to a United States penitentiary, which is a high, USP Beaumont, Texas, nicknamed Bloody Beaumont the Jungle. And before I get into that, I want to talk about the breakdown of snitching as opposed to filing paperwork. First of all, I'm solid, meaning that I didn't tell on my case. Basically, I'm the only one on my case. There was nobody else on my case that went to prison but me. Again, I don't feel like I'm guilty of the case, but that's neither here nor there. I'm the only one on the case. With that said, the question was put to me, well, you talk about snitching, but if you're filing paperwork, there's a difference. And I will give you an example. You have Sally, who is a law-abiding citizen. You have Jerome and you have Terrell. Jerome and Terrell are on the block. They're on the avenue. As a matter of fact, they're right outside the residence of Sally. Sally looks outside and sees Jerome and Terrell committing a crime. Sally calls the police. That's not snitching, what Sally did, because Sally's a law-abiding citizen. She pays taxes. She doesn't want her property value to go down because of Jerome and Terrell and whatever they're doing. Jerome and Terrell, they're involved in some unruly activity, criminal activity, potentially that is breaking the law. Jerome gets caught. Terrell doesn't. Jerome gets caught by himself. Police don't know about Terrell. Jerome tells on Terrell. That is snitching. We can't put it any more blunt terms than that. Because they have Jerome and Terrell have kind of made a pact with themselves that, hey, this is the kind of lifestyle we're living. And if things happen, these are street rules. So if things happen, but they're also universal rules. I mean, we can take it to treason. If you're a government official and you sell some private information to Russia or China, you're going to be charged with that. In some cases, that's even a death sentence. We can even take it back to, the times of Jesus when we deal with Judas and his snitching or selling out of Jesus. So in that context, yes, that is snitching. If Jerome tells on Terrell, however, in this case, now we're inside. Our only form of keeping accountability for the staff is to file paperwork. For instance, it was brought to my attention by the lieutenant when the rec staff member came in and said, "What are you niggas doing tearing up the equipment?" Well, the lieutenant said, "Wait a minute. You mean a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy comes in the band room with all black guys and Puerto Ricans, and you guys didn't whoop them?" Well, don't think we didn't want to. However, we're also in a rural community, which means that we're going to get an all-white jury. They're not going to believe that he called us a nigger in the first place. All they're going to see is that we jumped on this guy and whooped him. We're going to get charged. So clearer heads prevailed. We decided, no, we're going to file instead and just let it be known that this is the type of staff that you have at your institution. the type of staff who would say that. So I just wanted to verify that as far as snitching and that sort of thing. Filing paperwork, that's our only form of accountability for the staff. Otherwise, they could do whatever they wanted to us and nobody would know. So, and there have been cases, especially on a penitentiary level, where staff members will take off their walkie-talkie. I've seen it a couple times with correctional officers take off their walkie-talkie and give you a fair one, meaning that they will go up in the cell with you and fight. Win, lose, or draw, nobody's saying anything. You're not telling, because if you tell, you're going to be ostracized by the rest of the convicted felons at that institution, and the staff member's not going to tell, especially if he loses the fight. So, those kind of things go on. So I have gotten into a fight and I'm being transferred. I filed paperwork for the treatment that the staff have put me through since I've been in their SHU segregated housing unit. Female lieutenant, she comes and tells me, well, we're transferring you to USP Beaumont, Texas. Has a reputation. They call it Bloody Beaumont, the jungle. One of the things, the three abuses that are unacceptable, especially in a high institution such as Beaumont, the three abuses that are not tolerated by convicted felons: snitching, pedophilia, and rapists. These three, you're going to get the business, so to speak. And what I mean by the business, convicted felon, they're coming to see you. They're coming to see you and they're not coming talking. So once they find out, or if they find out that you have either ratted on somebody, particularly if it's somebody they know, if you're a pedophile, you didn't mess with any kids, that's a no-no. So even within the laws that are set forth by the convict, there is still a moral code. There is some behavior that's unacceptable. Now, do other people get the business for other things outside of these three? Absolutely. I mean, the three biggest things within the institution that people will get in fights for, that people will die over, is unpaid gambling, that one-eyed devil called the TV. Let's face it, you put 5 TVs in a unit with 100, sometimes 200 people, people don't always get along, because at the end of the day, you got 200 people who want to see different programs. This is where survival of the fittest kind of comes in. The strong take control and dictate the terms of that agreement. Is it fair? Not always, but hey, it's the way it is. It's the way it's ran. A lot of times the weaker, they will stay in their cell, read books. That one-eyed devil can be a serious thing, which is why I don't, till this day, watch too much TV. So those, gambling debts, the one-eyed devil, quite frankly, if a person is into homosexuality, you got, people fighting over homosexual partners and that sort of thing. So those things do go on. That part is kind of rare. But as far as the snitching, pedophilia, and rapists, unacceptable. So I get to USP Beaumont. And for everything that I've heard about it, yeah, I admit I'm a little scared, just because of its reputation. Plus, when you get there, when you get to any new institution, you don't have your property right away. So there's people that might know you're coming. You don't know who these people are. You're in bus shoes, these little blue shoes that have no type of support. Basically feels like you're walking on concrete. Basically feels like you have on no shoes. You're dressed in these. So as far as, if you do get into a scuffle or anything like that, and this is how we think, especially going to higher level institutions. Like, this is the thought process. Like, okay, don't want to get into it, but if I do, what is my combat gear? That sort of thing. So get to USP Beaumont. It's packed. It's packed. By the time we get out of going through the processing and all of that, it's basically dark out.
So they let us out onto the rec yard when it's dark. We have to go find our units. People are looking because they want to know, who are these guys? Okay. They want to see if there's any familiarity, if they know you. They want to see, where you're from. Again, back to the original, when you first come into the system. Well, every institution that you go to, it's going to be like that. Unless, of course, you've been around and then you've come to a place or a point in your time where, people kind of recognize you because they maybe seen you at another institution, something like that. So I get there. It's nighttime. They've already told me that, hey, we're sending you here. You're going to get killed. I said the universe has kept me cloaked. It's kept me cloaked throughout my life. It's kept a veil over me. It's protected me. So one of the first people I meet that I run into was a guy who I actually had run into some years prior in Oklahoma City, the holdover facility in Oklahoma. We meet. He's from the same area. I'm from New York. He's like, don't worry about it. We got a strong team. I got a knife for you. So until next time, Voices from Behind the Wall, I'll take you through a little bit deeper into USP Beaumont, my time there. And we'll talk about the next segment, penitentiary race wars, how the teams align up, so to speak, what the race war mentality is like, and we'll get into that. So again, peace, blessings, salutations, Yarima Karama coming to you again. Another segment from Voices from Behind the Wall. Shout outs to Dr. Boyce Watkins. Shout outs to videographer John Ray. And shout outs to the people who have lended their support. I'm very appreciative. Thank you much. Until next time.
Testament, I'm on one. Give you the treatment, represent to a further extent. It's the first volume of my testament. My testament. My testament.